The Cold War was definitely not the best era for those living in East Germany, especially once the Berlin Wall was built. However, everyday life was still infinitely better than what awaited you were you to show discontent with your situation. After the post-World War II partition of Germany, the British, French, and American sectors all united to create the Federal Republic of Germany, but the Soviets kept their section apart and turned it into the German Democratic Republic, or DDR for those who speak German. Though people could easily cross the border into West Berlin, again before the wall was built, East Germans were not allowed to leave the USSR and its satellites, and were also not allowed freedom of speech and expression. To maintain this order was where the infamous secret police known as the Stasi came in. In Berlin, dissidents were sent to the Stasigefängnis, literally the Stasi prison, in Berlin, now amongst a quiet residential neighborhood in northeast Berlin, but in the prison, absolutely everything was designed to break you down and humiliate you. If you were sentenced to the Stasigefängnis, you were taken there, cuffed up alongside a few other inmates, in a small van, which had no windows and barely any room. Each inmate was separated for isolation, and from the outside looked intentionally like an instant delivery truck. The truck would also make a huge loop, intentionally lengthening the trip, to make it seem like they were going much further away than the neighborhood inside Berlin. Once you got to the prison grounds, the focus was on humiliation. Inmates, though often separated, were disrobed at first and given their uniforms. Oddly, they were actually allowed to keep their usual clothes, but it's not like the guards ever told them that, so they generally took the uniform. The uniform, however, was often too big for their size, and often had some buttons missing, and the pants would often fall whenever the guards ordered them to raise their hands, which was pretty often. Some were also kept in cells, not allowed out if there was already an inmate in the hallway, with strict rules about how they folded their blankets in the morning, and had to sit in a chair in a certain position most of the time. Depending on the cells, many were also forced to live with 6 to 10 other inmates in the same cell. And no, there were not enough beds, or were completely isolated. The beds weren't exactly luxurious, especially considering how one couldn't lie all the way down in them, at least these wooden beds in the basement. Also, the hygienic situation was terrible, since many would have to use a piece of cloth from their uniforms as toilet paper, and when they showered, they would have enough time to get in, apply the soap, and then come right out. No rinsing, just go out. This means that if any inmates had applied the soap, it would still be on their skin as they walked around all day. The simple rule with the Stasi was that prisoners were not allowed to experience any positive feelings of any kind. It was even said that inmates should not be able to escape the prison through death, and suicide was viewed as just another way to try to escape the prison. Sharp objects of all kinds were completely prohibited, the mirrors were impossible to break into shards without making a loud noise, and there was even healthcare in hospitals, because of the squalid conditions. So if you ever thought the US's prison was pretty messed up, it still is. But the Stasi's one goal was to mentally incapacitate their inmates so much that they basically couldn't commit any more crimes against the state, through squalid conditions, humiliation, and intense interrogations. Thanks for watching this slightly different video, and for tuning in on a Thursday. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe to learn something new every Sunday. Oh, and this video is also part of a huge Halloween collaboration. Playlist link in the description. See you on Sunday.